This season marks a new beginning. New heights will be reached. New records will be broken. A new champion will be crowned. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American open wheel series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
The initial jewel of this Triple Crown should be an emerald to match the green wooded hills and valleys of the Pocono Mountains of northeastern Pennsylvania, home to the Tricky Triangle. The Lionheart IndyCar Series, presented by First Medical Equipment, comes to historic Pocono Raceway for the DirtyBlinds.com 300 and all the simulated Dallara IR18 action from green flag to victory donuts can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing channel. From the Keystone State, welcome to the GSRC broadcast of the Countdown to Green presented by SimSpit. As cyberspace flows into your place over these 15 streaming award-worthy minutes, we'll bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the DirtyBlind.com 300 that will immediately follow as we count down to green. And here to do all of that is yours truly, Bill Soupson, joined by former real-world IndyCar driver Richie Hearn. The doctor of pit topology, Amjad Yaman, is our director, armed with cameras provided by the Ansel Adams of iRacing, GSRC's own Dougie Beard. It's a short turnaround and a short distance to travel for the Lionheart IndyCar Series as the IndyCars roll into the Poconos for the DirtyBlind.com 300, the first leg of the Lionheart Triple Crown. Unlike previous years, the Pocono leg will pay out only single points for this season. However, the winner still walks away with $50 as well as an assortment of prizes. And folks, before I surrender the mic to Richie to talk about the track, let me remind you all that everything during the Countdown to Green comes courtesy of its sponsor, the Sim Pit, an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. Its focus is to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional videos and how-tos that will help your performance on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com. And now, as promised, here to tell you about the track is a man who, despite 84 real-world IndyCar starts, the schedule never took him to Pocono. I'm honored to have him as my booth mate, Richie Hearn.
Yeah, thank you, Soup, and welcome, everybody. And here we are at the Tricky Triangle, known as Pocono. It's opened in 1971, ironically the year I was born. The year after California's now defunct Ontario Motor Speedway opened. Together with the Brickyard, IndyCar then had 3 2.5-mile racetracks, and the Triple Crown was born. From 71 to 89, USAC and CART held races here, and after a 22-year hiatus, the Verizon IndyCar Series returned in 2013 and has held a race ever since. Each of Pocono's 3 turns are modeled after iconic corners of other tracks. Turn 1, the 14 degrees, represents Trenton Speedway. Turn 2, 8 degrees, represents the tunnel turn at Indy. And turn 3, 6 degrees, represents one of the turns at Milwaukee Mile. The front straight is 3,740 feet long, almost 7/10 of a mile. But the best way to get an idea of what it's like to go around this place is to jump on board on the GSRC IndyCar and take a lap.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yasek, taking you for a spin around the new Pocono Raceway in the GSRC IR18 IndyCar. So, without further ado, here we go. down the front stretch, sailing off here into turn one, getting up in a solo run at about 220 miles an hour. Take kind of a late entry in there to try to straighten out the exit, get it right down here towards that line, bring it straight out off the wall and down the long pond straightaway. As you can see, there's no grass, so there's a lot more room for things to get really crazy down here into turn two. Turn two, pretty much a lot of the same in turn one. Take that real late entry, try to drive that corner as straight as possible, and then back out onto the straight. Down here into turn three, you're going to take another late approach, get the car woed down here to the bottom, try to hug that yellow line, drive it straight off of the corner and back down the front stretch. You could see guys all over this track as the run progresses. It just depends on where the grip is. With this car making its grip from the bottom, I mean, you could see guys up here in this second, third seam, but you could see them right back down to the bottom, straightening out that corner, down the long pond straightaway one more time, getting your approach set up into turn two. Once again, real late entry, swinging it in, straightening out that corner as much as possible, down into this little short chute, setting up turn three one more time. Find the yellow line here, turn it straight in, never lift, straight out of the corner, down the front stretch one more time, and across the line. And that is going to complete our guide here around the new Pocono Raceway. I'm Brian Yazik. Enjoy the show.
And the drivers want to do well in the DirtyBlinds.com 300 so they can improve in the point standings. Let's take a look at those now. These are the First Medical Equipment Driver Championship. Andrew Havakech Kinsella has a pair of wins for Adrenaline. Brian Yazik has a win at Phoenix for Loud Pedal Motorsports. Now get this, Jason Galvin, he missed a start. Nevertheless, his second, and sixth is enough to land him in third. Keep that in mind when we get to the halfway point and we start to take into account drop races. Look for Galvin to move up. Adam Blocker for Adrenaline, he's coming off his win at Watkins Glen. He makes a big jump up into ninth. Now the big mover is Stefan Larkamp, and Richie's going to talk a little more about him in a moment. Let's go to the team championships. This is sponsored by HPP Simulations. Adrenaline won the day at Watkins Glen, but they weren't alone. How about this? The new team, 8 Ball Racing, with Michael Goodman, Michelle DeJong, and Justin Weaver. They also tied for first. Another team to watch out for is the guys here, Dan Guerin, George Anzaldo, Dustin Weaver, Brandon Limpkeman, and Ron Hacker. They were third on the day for Synergy, and they're moving up. Keep an eye on them. Now, we've talked about the teams. Let's go ahead and talk about the new guys. Richie?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the Rookie of the Year standings brought to you by Butt Kicker. In first place, we got Bart Workman for Skidmark Motorsports. He's 8th in the First Medical Equipment Drivers Championship. We got Steven Larkamp for GAP SRT, finished 2nd at Watkins Glen last time, and he's 12th overall, moving up 20 spots. That's pretty big. And in 3rd in the rookie standings, we got Justin Weaver for 8 Ball Motorsports, who you just mentioned. He was 6th at the Glen. He's jumped 13 spots overall to be 16th in the overall standings.
Andrew Kinsella won that championship last time. This one seems to be very competitive. Now, considered to be the premier fixed setup racing league for the Dallara IR18 on the iRacing service, the Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. And, you know, I think Dan would really enjoy this next segment because it's time for the Setup Corner. This edition, I'm going to be very interested in because when I saw the topic, Richie's going to give us some celebrity gossip about a Cam Newton, Amber Nicole Miller romance. I cannot wait to learn about camber.
And I'm going to let you know all about that camber there, Soup. Camber, in a nutshell, is the degree in which the tire is leaned over. By using the suspension to push the top of the wheel out, that'd be positive camber, or pull it towards the car, that'd be negative camber, you create a natural lean to the tire. Tires naturally have a very small contact patch with the road. And by changing the camber, you alter the size, shape, and location of that contact patch. Positive camber moves the contact patch towards the outside of the tire, while negative camber moves it towards the inside of the tire. Now, most oval tracks have negative camber on the right side and the positive camber on the left side. This moves the natural contact patch of the tire towards the left side of the car. And why is this beneficial on an oval? Well, 2 reasons. Number 1, This reduces the overall contact patch when the car is going straight, meaning the car can go faster in a straight line. And number 2, most importantly, the forces going through a left-hand corner naturally move the patch towards the right side of the car. This means that on the oval, where there are only left-hand corners, preloading the contact patch onto the left side of the tire results in a neutral contact patch throughout the corner. What this all means is that by finely tuning the camber, you can have both maximum speed in a straight line and around the corner, essentially getting the best of both worlds.
Hey, Richie, when you were racing, how involved were you in the setup? Was it pretty much do what the engineer said, or did you have a good idea of what the car needed?
A little bit of both. I mean, I was more into one who would just tell the engineer, this is what I want the car to do. This is what I don't want the car to do. And then they usually come back, hey, we changed this, but it'll affect this or that. And then I would make a decision because everything you do has a negative effect on something else. Usually once you get together with an engineer that knows you can kind of shorten that up and he knows exactly what you're looking for in a car.
Have you ever been in a car that was just ugly, that just you couldn't get figured out?
Oh, absolutely. You come in and throw a couple of 4-letter words on the radio and say, hey, we're going back to the garage and we're going to fix this.
Well, qualifying's going on right now. We've talked about the track. We've gone over the points. We had Professor Lugnut's little setup corner there. No Daniel Bernoulli this time, though. That's kind of sad. I always like to hear about the professor there. Let's go ahead, Richie. Tell us about the series details.
Yeah, the series details comes to us thanks to the Sim Pit. We are in Season 6 here of the Lionheart Series, and we're round 5 of 24, and they have 3 drops available. We're driving the new iRacing Dallara IR18. The setups are adjusted and fixed, and we are working on a cash and prizes totaling $6,402.
And as we mentioned, the winner today gets 50 of that. Let's go ahead and see what's going on in qualifying right now. And my goodness, am I seeing, look at this, Brandon Limpkeman at the top, if my timing and scoring correct. Let me make sure I have this right. It is. Look at this. A great run from the number 73 machine. Adam Blocker coming off that win at Watkins Glen, sitting there in second.
What I'm hearing with these guys in the pits, guys getting ready to go out, they're sitting there just floored trying to get as much fuel out of the car as they can because, you know, every thousandth of a second is going to make a difference, just like we have right now.
What is your guess here? Is this that long straight drafting going to be a big factor, I would think, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a super speedway, so it's going to be very similar to Indy, you know, getting that draft, but you know, the tires do wear out here, so especially in turns 3 because it's so flat, being able to get that car just right on the inside of somebody and get that run on the front straightaway is very key.
Pocono has a reputation. It can be very clean. We have some nice clean races in the Lionheart history, and there have been some ugly races, with the start time being about 10:35 p.m. at night in the real world start time on the eastern seaboard. I would imagine people are looking for some nice green flag runs here.
And
Go ahead.
I ran a practice race with these guys on at Watkins Glen last week, and man, I was driving my butt off, and I think I qualified like 20th. I mean, these guys smoked me out there, so they are very, very good.
And qualifying is just about done. It's just about time to go racing. And when it is time to go racing, here's something that you need to know. Nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations. I'm going to get right out of this plug and go to Richie here real quick. Do you brake here at Pocono?
No brakes.
No brakes.
If you got to drag the brakes a little bit, maybe, but to keep the car underneath you, but no brakes. You might downshift, and that natural slowdown will be good enough, but definitely no brakes.
Well, I'm going to say, no, you know, coming into the pits, that's where you're going to need yourself a nice HPP simulation hydraulic braking system. It's designed and manufactured in the USA of state-of-the-art CNC equipment. HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation pitting. For more information, please visit hppsimulations.com. I was told specifically not to ad-lib the sponsor plugs, but I can't help myself, series organizers. All right, qualifying is done as they start to line up. Going to talk to our director here. Do we want to go to onboard cameras now, or do we want to wait till they actually get rolling here? Let's go to the grid right now. On the front row, we have plenty of time here, Richie, so we'll take them 2 at a time. The front row is going to be filled up by Dan Guerin. He got that pole at a 41 flat, about 2 1,000ths of a second faster than Brandon Limpkeman.
In row 2, we got Adam Blocker and Michael Goodman. Very, very close to that front row as well.
Third row is populated by Ron Hacker and our points leader, Andrew Kinsella.
Row 4 consists of Brian Yazik in 7th spot and Tony Schoen in 8th.
The Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray from down under. Let's see, that would be something like, in the real world, it's Wednesday night. It'd be like Thursday afternoon for him. Get a job, Michael. Ian Adams is going to be in 10th position.
And coming up on row 6, that would be Pierre Daigle and Stephen Larkamp.
Larkamp having that great second place finish last time out. In the Baker's Dozen spot, Joe Flanagan inside of George Anzaldo.
Row 8 will be Dustin Wardlow and Isaiah Dupree.
Jason Galvin sitting third in the points, even though he has missed a race, and 17th. He's going to be flanked by Brian Beard.
And in the right 19th and 20th spots, we got Woody Mahan and Big Joe.
Hidden Blackjack, it is Ken Hacker. Outside of him, the Candyman, Justin Weaver. Sorry, not the Candyman.
Row 12 will be Peter Edwins and Matthew Mercer.
Benson Blumenthal is in the quarter century mark inside of Mitchell Moeller.
Covering row 14 will be Brian Greenlee and Jack Bogan.
James Krahula way back in 29th. The Bob Hansen's meat market machine there. Bob Micah's in 30th.
And row 16, we got Ed Tutwiler and Dylan McKenna.
David Cordy and Chris Stouffer make up the next row.
Row 18 will be Scott Bolster and Bart Workman.
Robert Bluen and Tyler Graff go 37th and 38th.
And in row 20, we got Scott Johnson, and not doing a time will be Samuel Ryman.
Samuel Ryman just stepping out of the GSRC broadcast booth. He was just doing a broadcast a few minutes ago. And then finally, Chris Lanini down in 41st position. Let's go to the onboard cameras. We got George Anzaldo and the Viva Motorsports onboard machine racing in the number 6 and the number 17 car. It's going to be Bob Micahs in the Vaughn Hansen's onboard camera. In the number 96, Robert Bluen. He's racing the Patrick Taylor Memorial onboard camera. And then our race sponsor in the number 16, it's Pete Edwins in the DirtyBlinds.com onboard camera machine. Well, we've got all the business out of the way. Perfectly done. The field is working their way around the track on this pace lap, getting ready to go green. This is round number 5 of 24. And all the attention now focuses on our points, on our pole sitter.
They are all gridded up, ready to go in just a second.
Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. And it is Dandy Dan Guerin leading the stampede down into the first corner. On the top side, that's Brandon Limpkeman. He's getting freight trained. Underneath him goes the blue car of Adam Blocker. Michael Goodman tucks into third. Brandon Limpkeman trying to settle it in fourth. Nowhere to go for the car in 6th. That's Andrew Havakech-Kinsella as he gets boxed in. Again, look at Ron Hacker on the low side. Richie, the low line seems to be the line that's working early on.
Yeah, right now the tires are fresh, so you definitely want to take the shortest distance around the track. We're going to see that groove move up a little bit as we get more through this run.
Exactly what Richie talked about, a pass for the lead, again on the low side, and it's Dan Guerin getting underneath Adam Blocker. Guerin's going to get credited with leading the first lap. Oh, but here comes Blocker now going into one. He gets that blue car underneath, and he makes the pass.
I think you're going to see a lot of this here, just going back and forth with that straightaway being so long. It's going to be easy to get a draft and get by into turn 1, even if you get past going into 3.
Yeah, the passing continues up front. Some call it passing, some call it dancing. It's a little choreography going on up there as the front 3 cars of Guerin, Blocker, and Goodman start to run away. They're not always going to be in that order, but they start to distance themselves. It's about a second back to Brandon Limpkeman, and here's where we have trouble. Limpkeman on the outside, Hacker on the low side. Going by, that's Andrew Kinsella.
Yeah, I think if those first 3 guys just work together with each other a little bit, they can get a little space, because that's a pretty angry group of cars right behind them working on 4th place.
So how far are they racing right now? Well, let's go ahead and tell you the race analysis. This is brought to you by Lock Precision. Remember, fly hard, fly safe, fly lock. We are going 120 laps. 30 laps is how far we can imagine they'll go on a stint. Not sure if tires will last that long. And then it's the traditional 8 incidents, lose 3 points, 12 incidents, and you are DQ'd. Boy, if you pick up 12 incidents here, Richie, at Pocono, and you're still running, you're doing something special.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see much of that. Car will be kind of destroyed if we get to 12 incidents, I think.
Now they start to get single file. The only guy making a move, that is the blue machine in 8th position, Brian Yazik in the HPP car. Boy, he's got Ian Adams pinned up there. Adams is pinned behind Tony Schowen. Look at Brian Yazik trying to get that car to work on the low side. What do you think, Richie? That we're going like 4 laps. How long do those tires feel good down low? They starting to go away already?
You know, it really depends on the people you're running with. If you're in a heavy draft, you're going to really lean on those tires a little bit. But if you can get some clean air, which this track is so wide, you can find some spots to run. But I think those tires are going to go away way before the fuel burns off.
Let's drop back to 24th position. This is our hard charger, Chris Stouffer. Qualified in 34th. He is up 10 spots. He's on the top right now. That is Brian Beard that just got around him. And here comes Stouffer with a run. He's being pursued. There he goes. Look at this. Stouffer making it 3 wide. Trying to get underneath. Now he takes it off. Stouffer is the last in line. Beard up in front. In the yellow cars is Bluthenthal. Oh, and we got Michael Gray. And is it Flanagan that got somebody is cartwheeling down the... Michael Gray was spinning. We're going to find it. Gray got up into the back of Flanagan. They both spin.
That's the problem with this race here is everybody's packed together. So if somebody makes a mistake like that, you're going to see multiple cars get taken out.
Getting a piece of it going by is the Candyman, Dustin Wardle. I think Larkamp got by cleanly. My gosh. So we have a yellow flag right off.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to make that pass in the tunnel turn there, and it tightens up quite quickly on the exit.
Director, let's go on board with Stefan Larkamp, last race, 2nd place finisher. I think he actually might have had to duck here. This will make you want to scooch down in your seat. Watch this. Whee! That reminds me of the crash. It was it Conway back at Indy that the people were going underneath? That this had that feel of it.
Yeah, that happened in the short shoot between 3 and 4.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have our first yellow flag out. There are no fast repairs in the Lionheart either race, either in the IndyCar Series or in the Retro Series. This is big boy racing. You break it, you bought it. That's going to be bad news for Flanagan and for Michael Gray, the Australian driver. I think their days are going to be out. Their day is going to be over early.
I'd be surprised if we got some takers for the pit lane here. Oh, some fakers, not takers.
Yeah, that was Dan Guerin having a little fun. I guess
if I was in the back, I would probably pit and just try to get off sequence with some of these guys, and just see how you can make it up in track position on as we go green for a long time.
Justin Weaver agrees with you as he comes in. Not sure if this is just coming in to top off, or if maybe he got a little bit of damage. He might have been caught up in that incident with that happened with Flanagan and Gray.
It looks like all these guys are taking tires and fuel, and and these guys are going to hope for a long green flag after this, and hopefully catch the leaders pitting under green.
Well, yeah, they'll get to run those extra 4 or 5 laps, and anything can happen here. One of the interesting things about Pocono is that I'm going to assume you can probably pit and not go a lap down here. I have to make sure that is the case. What do you think, Rich? Do you think I'm right on that, on a green flag stop? Do you think you could, if you were close enough to the front, get in and out maybe?
Nah, not if you're taking full fuel. I mean, the fuel takes a while, and these guys are moving along at it'd be close. It'd be very close.
So we'll have some guys in the back, because there are about a handful of people who came in for that stop.
One thing we did do is we had that 3-car breakaway, and now we've packed everybody up. And so this is going to be pretty wild, I think, going into turn 1. That front straightaway is so wide, we could easily see, 4 to 5 wide going into turn 1.
Looking to see as they start to line up now. Are the lights off the pace car? They are, so we're getting ready to go green here. This will be our first restart. Working lap number 7, it is Adam Blocker out in front. He'll be working lap number 8 when they come across the line right now. The pace car pulls in. That gives control to Blocker. Blocker waits. He gets on the gas, gets a good jump. Dan Guerin following. Little bit of a fight going on back here for third. That's Goodman out in front. Limpkeman on the next line in, and then Kinsella on the line in after that. They decide to settle down.
And Andrew's going to try to go around the outside here, get some clean air. Try to get a run here. He's got a good run going to the tunnel turn here.
Looking through for the drivers. Jack Bogan is the leader of all the cars who pitted. Tyler Graff, Justin Weaver. Keep an eye on Justin Weaver. That's a pretty big name to have some fresh tires. He's currently back there racing in 33rd right now. See if he can work his way up.
Did get a pass for the lead there. Dan Guerin getting around Adam Blocker as they come down the front straightaway, but I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see Adam like he's looking right now in the turn 1 to go right back by him.
I wonder, as those guys continue to swap positions as they have done for most of the first 9 laps, I wonder if Michael Goodman is not just back there lifting a little bit. Oh, let's go. It is Matthew Mercer got caught up with Ken Hacker. Hacker got a little bit of contact. I think Chris Stouffer might have got up into him. Stouffer was able to save his car. Hacker almost saved his car, and then poor Matthew Mercer coming by had nowhere to go.
Yeah, just kind of unfortunate being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and looks like he just lost it on his own up high there, which is kind of, looks like he got a little contact there.
And Mercer almost got through. Boy, not a lot of damage to any of those cars. They may have dodged a Pocono bullet. We ride on board with Mercer. Oh. Mercer had nothing but clear track ahead of him, and it got clipped. We come back live. Well, this is a good opportunity, maybe that we can talk about some of the sponsors that make this possible. Let's go ahead and start with talking about one of my favorite ones, Butt Kicker. Now, welcome back to it. The Butt Kicker, they're always here every race. We're currently under yellow right now. If you're a sim racer looking to add the missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your session, Butt Kicker products are the way to go. Unlike the subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and focus, Butt Kicker products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Use the promo code LION20 to get that 20% off your order. And remember, ask them for the new Richie Hearns setting for that extra force.
Love it. I think I might get one of those for my own sim rig.
I just put my wife behind me with a frying pan. It's a lot cheaper. All right, as we are on now our second yellow, let's see if we get a long green flag run going on here. Take a quick look.
Some takers. Yep. Takers for pit lane there. Starting with Brian Yazik coming in from 14th.
So while these guys, there was only one extra lap of racing going on, these guys are pretty much going to be on the same strategy as the other guys, although they won't have the track position of the guys who pitted right before them.
This will mix everything up quite a bit because those guys in the top 10 are kind of stuck with their strategy. I mean, you can't come in until you're ready, but now they're hoping that they get a yellow right around their pit window so they don't lose all that track position.
As I mentioned, Jack Bogan was one of the early pitters. He picks up a lot more as he's going to pick up spots with those guys coming in. Bogan now in 20th. He's the leader of all those cars that pitted about 4 laps ago. And then we have the new set of guys who just came in. Names like Yazik, Mahan, Dupree, Stouffer, Mikas, Lanini, Workman, Greenlee.
Yeah, now the danger for someone like Brian Yazik is, sure you got fresh tires, but now you're in this pack of a lot of other people, and bad things can happen sometimes. Remember, cautions breed cautions.
I'm all for having your cautions spaded. I listen to Bob Barker on The Price is Right. He tells me to do that, so I can let my cautions wander the neighborhood without fear. Dan Guerin, Adam Blocker, Michael Goodman. Your top three drivers.
Hopefully we can get a long green run here to see what these guys really have as far as tire wear and stuff, and kind of sort the field out a little bit more instead of just these short runs.
We talked about Jack Bogan being in 20th position. He's the leader of all the cars who have made a stop. Right ahead of him in 19th, that is our hard charger, and that belongs to Scott Bolster.
Yeah, he's moved up quite a few positions from his 30th spot. So, he's hanging in there and just keeping it clean. That's sometimes what you have to do at the beginning of these races.
Some of those are passes he made on the track, and a lot of them are passes that he picked up as the drivers came in for a stop behind him.
They all count.
Yes, they do. All right. Well, we have 2 early cautions, and again, drivers who are out of the race. Joe Flanagan and Michael Gray, they were caught up in the first incident. Also involved in that one, I guess, Brian Beard. He looks like he is retired as well. Ken Hacker, I don't think he was able to get that car back out on the second incident as he's still sitting in pit lane. So it looks like we have 4 out, still 37 out there.
Yeah, it's a real big field for sure. And, if we can keep most of these guys running, it'll just be a big draft fest all night long.
Okay, Rich, you're going to talk some real-world racing for you. Big news at Indy. They're talking about maybe letting more than 33 cars race this time. They're saying, boy, if you come, it seems a shame to go home. How do you feel about that? Do you like bumping?
That would be a complete tragedy if they did that. And bumping's part of the fun. If you can't make the 33, you shouldn't be there. And so if they do that, I will definitely voice my opinion on Twitter.
I am with you as well. As much as I look forward to seeing Danica race, you got to get the qualifying in there. Right now, talking about racing, it's time to go racing right here. Dan Guerin coming across. He's going to be working lap number 13. Blocker, Goodman. Those guys have been up front the whole time. But wait a minute, we have somebody else coming in here. That's Brandon Limpkeman looking to get up into the top 3.
Yeah, he's trying to get down there in the top 3, but Michael Goodman squeezed him down low, took that air off the front wing. Had to lift a little bit.
Yeah, Kinsella laid back, and he had a good run coming out of 2. Now he's got the low side. Let's see if he can make it work.
And that's a lot of it. It's just learning how to time it just right. And just so you can get that good run off the corner. And here we go. We got a 5-car battle for the lead basically right now.
Yeah, racing in a 2-1-2 zone formation right now. 2 cars up front. Again, the blue car is Blocker. The car on the top, that's Dandy Dan Guerin. Guerin has been fast all season long. He's well down in the points because he has had no luck. Again, up front is where Guerin races, Blocker behind him. And again, Goodman able to hold on to 3rd. And finally, Kinsella gets underneath in that adrenaline car, that kind of teal-colored machine. Moves up into 4th.
I saw Brandon Linkerman just try to get on the inside.
Limpkeman got really loose. I think he might have got into the left rear of Adams as Adams went by. We're going to watch this from the top. Watch Limpkeman save this. Oh. Nice catch.
Nice little drifting through turn 2 there.
That's worth the price of admission right there. So where does Limpkeman fall down after that? Well, boy, he's going to go all the way back into 10th. Let's look at this now. As here comes Jason Galvin in the global machine.
Yeah, it's really, once you lose that momentum, everybody's just going to sneak right by you. It takes a while to build that back up. Plus, his tires are probably not feeling so good either after that.
Yeah, so now he's back in the clutches of Anzaldo. We haven't talked much about George Anzaldo back there in that red Lionheart IndyCar Series car. Red and black car racing in 12th. Bluthenthal behind him. The Candyman, Dustin Wardlow in 14th. There goes Bluthenthal, going to make a move underneath. The yellow car of Bluthenthal, not going to be able to get any momentum on the low side.
You can kind of see these guys moving around quite a bit, and I think those tires The ones that didn't change are starting to pay the price a little bit, and they're having trouble holding that bottom line.
Limpkeman, boy, he almost puts it in the wall. A great run from Blumenthal. I have trouble with colors, but it says Pennzoil. I know that is yellow. He gets out in front. Bringing it across the line. Arnold Palmer would be proud as he comes across in 11th position now for Vincent Blumenthal. Up front, Guerin, Blocker, Goodman. Those three have been up front the whole time, nothing changing.
Yeah, they've been keeping it clean, and they're pulling away a little bit from third place, so just being smart right now. No reason to fight for it too much.
After Limpkeman dropped out of the picture, that opened the door for the two drivers in fourth, Kinsella and Adams. Here they are coming at you. Look at Guerin weaving back and forth like a loom, trying to break the draft of Blocker.
Everybody's starting to string out a little bit, and I'd be interested to see how our guys who made pit stops are making moves and just see where those guys are at.
Justin Weaver has got up to 17th. Oh, Justin Weaver's got up to 17th. He's the leader of all those guys that made an early stop. Bogan has fallen back to 22nd. Now remember, Weaver qualified in 22nd position, and he's now picking up one more.
We're just watching Brian Yazik as well. He's starting to make moves up to the front. He came in on that last pit stop.
As we're looking at Yazik in 20th. Back and look at onboard camera here. The dirty blind stock car. Oh no, there's some contact and there's more of it. That was with David Cordy. Cordy got into him once, got into him twice, and Cordy saves it. I couldn't tell. I thought Cordy was long gone from the onboard camera. Watch this. Once, twice, and he catches it.
Another tough moment in the tunnel turn there. That's a really tight place to go side by side.
Well, let me tell you, we were on board with the Dirty Blinds camera, onboard camera. When somebody comes to your house to clean your blinds, they were going to be much more gentle than Peter Edwins was right there. As we spin back around. Looking back at the driver right behind Edwins. Some great camera work. Of course, it is Isaiah Dupree. Well, that's two. One from Limpkeman there, and then another one that we just dodged. Some great catches going on. Our leader, Adam Blocker, has opened up about 7/10 of a second. Richie, 7/10 of a second looks so big here at Pocono because it's going so fast.
That's pretty surprising that he's able to pull that gap. The draft is so strong, so I don't know if the second place driver had a little mistake, but he's starting to fall back in the clutches of Andrew Kinsella right now.
We started to talk about the driver in 12th, and then some action broke out. Let's go ahead and talk about Dustin Wardlow again. He is, oh, no, I apologize. Dustin Wardlow is not, I've got to get this right. It was the leader of the cars that pitted. It's Jason Weaver. Get this straight, Soup. Yeah, there we go. Let's get this right. It is Justin Weaver. Justin right now is a coming. He's in 14th position. And he's got a buffet in front of him. Mitchell Moeller, Chris Stouffer, and Stefan Larkamp, all on older rubber. Just to get this straight, it is Justin Weaver and Dustin Wardlow.
He's making some moves, and he's taking advantage of those fresh tires right now. And, we're at lap 23, so we're getting pretty close to these guys probably thinking about making a pit stop.
And then we get to that little danger area where if the yellow comes out here, it's going to be about about 4 laps for one group and maybe about 10 laps for the other group. If they get caught up by a yellow, that'll really shake stuff up. This blocker comes across right now. He's working lap number 24. Now, they said they could go 30, but of course we've been under yellow for a lot. So let's throw on an extra 6 laps there. Let's say he can go to lap 36. That's when it'll start to get exciting.
I'd love to see some green flag pit stops because that pit entry off of 3 is very tricky. It's very short, and you got to slow down in a quick, a short period of time. So it's not the easiest pit lane.
That's when you need your true hydraulic braking system from HPP simulations. That'll help you get in there. You get the real feel of it there. Kinsella up to second.
Good running that high line there. Yeah, as the tires wear off, you're going to start creeping up that track a little bit to keep the momentum. Because basically it's the front end that starts giving away before the rear end. You just really start plowing the front of the car and just losing that momentum off the corner.
Now, because these are fixed setups, they don't get to play around with any of the toys that they normally would do. Things that I have no idea what they do. Things like weight jacker and your flux capacitor, all those things in the car that does stuff. They don't have that option.
Yeah, and those are really strong tools to use. The weight jacker kind of moves the weight around as the fuel burns down, and then you got your roll bars as well to help balance the car as the tires wear out.
Richie, does that kind of become second nature? Just like hitting the space bar or just being able to play with those things, or do you really have to concentrate when you do it?
It's just learning the feel of the car a little bit. The key is knowing which direction the car is going to go before it gets there, so you can make that adjustment before you get to that point. You kind of stay up on it a little bit. So it does take a feel, a lot of practice.
But the actual doing the adjustment is like rolling up the windows with power windows. I mean, is it not really complicated?
No, it's no big deal. Usually the weight jacker is just a switch, it's electronic. So
it was Woody Mahan. Oh, and Jack Bogan does a great job. I don't know if he got a piece of it or not. My gosh. I think everybody else got by him.
Once again, turn 2. Spun on his own there.
You saw Bogan dive to the left. I don't know if he cleared him completely. Whew.
You see he's in the draft and just kind of gets down on that yellow line, and that's all she wrote with those old tires.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and we're going to ride on board with Jack Bogan here. Watch this as he cranks it left. You be the driver. Whoa, and then, kept it off the wall. Well,
it doesn't get much closer than that.
I'll tell you some people that were happy to see that. Adam Blocker, Andrew Kinsella, Michael Goodman, they were all getting close. What we'll do, we'll stay with this as they're going to come in to pit, then we'll take a break here on the Global Sim Racing channel as they cycle out. We'll see who stays out as well. Will any of these guys who are on 16-lap stints, will they stay out? I think they will.
If it was me, I'd probably come in and just get back on the cycle.
The first one I see maybe would be Chris Stouffer in 15th. We'll keep an eye on him. Stouffer comes in. And that's why you get paid the big money, Mr. Hearn. They're all coming in. Few of them staying out.
I just don't think there's an advantage at this point. Just get back on the leader's cycle.
Drivers who did stay out now, Mr. Contrarian, James Krahula, if there's ever a chance to do something that nobody else does. We've seen James do this before. He might just stay out here just to get a little screen time. He's kind of that kind of a media hog. He'll probably pit next lap around. Robert Bluen stays out as well. What we'll do right now on the Global Sim Racing channel, we'll take a short break, but don't worry, we'll be back well before we go green. Back in a few.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Welcome back to GSRC's coverage of Round 5 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, the DirtyBlinds.com 300 from Pocono. You know, one of our sponsors is Viva Motorsports. They specialize in motorsports-inspired items, ranging from custom-etched glasses, track decals, and more. Everything is designed with the motorsports enthusiast in mind, crafted with care and love through all its stages of production. If you're looking for the perfect gift for someone who's passionate about motorsports, visit the Viva Motorsports shop today at vivamotorsports.etsy.com. And remember, when you're ordering, use the promo code Lionheart for 10% off all your orders. Now, we talked about Mr. Contrarian, James Krahula. He decided to stay out. He is the only driver who decided to stay out. He's got 18 laps on those Firestones. Behind him, Blocker. No, let me correct myself. It's Guerin, then Blocker, Kinsella, the same, the everyone you would expect. Goodman, Big Joe Hazard up in fifth. The question is, clean air versus old tires, and right now it looks like, or new tires, it looks like new tires is going to be the choice of that everyone would like.
Yeah, definitely. James is kind of a sitting duck right here, and he's going to be hoping for a real early yellow. Otherwise, he's going to be pitting under green all by himself.
He's got about 15 laps before he's really going to have his goose cooked here. Now, as we're looking here, Dan Guerin is not your leader. He is in 36th position, scored a lap down. I just assumed he was the leader. I'm not sure how that happened.
He must have had a problem in his pit stop there because he was definitely running up front earlier.
Take a quick look to see if he had to take an extra stop. My goodness, I do not know. Pass for the lead. So Guerin out in front, but it's really not. Your leader is Andrew Kinsella. And I'm still trying to investigate what happened there. Kinsella out in front, Blocker behind him, Michael Goodman behind him. I think there is plenty of time for Dan Guerin to get back in. Boy, that was a close one. Rahula is really getting ran over.
Yeah, he's basically hanging on for dear life. Like I say, he's hoping for a yellow fairly soon. Otherwise, he's going to go a lap down as he pits under green.
Back to 8th. Ron Hacker looking to make a move. Looking at Dan Guerin, he's only made one stop. I don't know why he is a lap down. I will say this, the one stop that he made does not have a timing for how long he was in the box. Getting some news one more time, Director? From Jesse Vincent, our the steward, the race steward, Garen's internet connection dropped during the yellow flag. That's why he is a lap down. Well, put the pole sitter at the
He's
back.
got some work
Give
to
a
do.
little drama. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna make him earn it.
This is easily doable. Go ahead.
If he can get a yellow, I mean, he's in a good spot. If he can hold off Andrew, he'll be back on the lead lap. He's just got to do everything he can to stay in front of him.
300 miles of racing here at Pocono. 120 laps. We've gone 35.
Looking at James Carhula, he's dropped all the way back down to 8th spot now, and just kind of watching his car through the corners. I mean, he's really struggling to keep that momentum up through 1 and 2, and so he's one of those people hoping for a yellow as well.
This works out well for him if they can. Boy, it's got to be a perfectly timed yellow. If we can go about another 10 laps and then get a yellow flag, everyone will come in, including him, and he'll get all that track position.
Yeah, basically it'll work out for him, but if it doesn't, he's going to have to pit a lot earlier than these guys. And looking at these pit lane times, they're right around 35 seconds. They're doing 41 seconds around the track. There's no way with the slowdown and speed up after that, you're going to stay on the lead lap if you pit under green.
Right behind him, you see the blue car going underneath. That is the HPP machine of Brian Yazik. He picks up 9th position on Ron Hacker.
And he was running he came in on one of those early yellows, and he was all the way back in about 17th spot. And he's made up a lot of pit spots. I think he did it on the pit lane with the shorter fuel load there, so it's worked out well for him.
Oh, I was just going to talk about Chris Stouffer being our hard charger, but I think Stouffer has lost connection as well. Oh boy, my timing and scoring is lighting up like a Christmas tree as I see. Oh, that's Stouffer falling down. That's too bad for Stouffer. He was our hard charger. I think he lost connection. Boy, that's a commentator's curse before I even spoke it. That's not really fair.
Yeah, you were just thinking it.
I don't know my own strength. I'm going to try to see if I can bend some spoons. Our leader, Andrew Kinsella, Adam Blocker, they run 1-2, about a second ahead of Ian Adams. Adams is interesting. We have not been talking about him. He's been lurking about 4th or 5th this whole time. Now with Kinsella out of the picture and Limpkeman having trouble, Adams moves up into that podium spot.
He's had a pretty strong run as well, running in some of those heavy packs and surviving. All these guys are kind of spread out about the same amount, maybe saving some fuel, kind of taking it easy. We're in that point of the race where everybody's going to settle down a little bit.
He's not had a great season points-wise. He sits 36 in the point standings. That's not representative of how fast he really is.
Did get a pass for the lead here. Adam Blocker out in front of Andrew Kinsella. They're chasing Dan, but he's holding tight up there.
Yeah, honestly, Garen really, there's no reason for him to go anywhere. He just needs to stay ahead of, unless he's really good, he wants to do it the old-fashioned way and actually come around and do it. I think he's going to need some help from the yellow. So all he really needs to do is just stay ahead of the leaders.
Yeah, he's in a good position right now, and like I say, he's gonna have to do everything he can to keep those guys behind him.
Kinsella out there racing for Adrenaline Motorsports. And there we're looking at James Grahula. James is back to 10th. I think he's happy in 10th, but he's running in his 28th lap. Again, a lot have been under yellow, so let's give him 10 laps. Let's say he can get 38 laps in. That means he can go to lap number 50.
Yeah, I think he's done a good job. He's kind of settled into a good spot there, and he's just going to ride it out. And like we talk about, hopefully a yellow comes pretty soon.
And then, knowing him, he's probably figured out the math as we look at them scrambled back behind. He probably realizes if we go green the whole time, that maybe he can get there in the same amount of stops that we're looking at Tyler Graff in 18th position. He's working just behind, just behind George Anzaldo. That beautiful blue and yellow car, Volt Tech car, is Chris Lanini.
Pretty good battle right here going with the four of these guys. They're racing pretty hard, spreading out in the corners, trying to get that clean air to get that run.
There goes Lanini underneath. Lanini having a good run considering he started dead last, racing in 19th position. I love that paint scheme. It just, we look at the, can we look at Lanini real quick? It's just so pretty. It's this blue and yellow with Volt Dash Tech put on there. That's simple. Simplicity. I love it.
Definitely stands out, that's for sure.
I can report that Bob Mike has banged it off the wall. Mike has, remember, had trouble earlier. He's one lap down. Now, interesting, have I missed, is my timing is, oh, I'm sorry, I was looking for cars that were one lap down. I was looking for Dan Guerin, but he is on the lead lap now. Oh my goodness, Guerin is 2 laps down, our director tells us. It was 1 lap when I checked him. He is 2 down. Oh my, he's got 5 miles of catch up to do.
Yeah, he's going to need a lot of help with that. And, you know, if he can get 1 lap back and just stay clean, you know, he's fast enough to make it happen. Not much going on up front. Everybody's spread out here.
Starting to settle into a little rhythm going on now. We're looking at Graff. That's still a good battle. That's Lanini in there as well. He's our hard charger right now. Up 22 spots. We've been going about 16 laps under green, one of our longer green flag runs. About halfway through a fuel stint.
We got James Krahula hanging in there at 11th. He's hoping for a yellow, though.
Yeah, once the top tier drivers got around him, he's able to hold his ground here.
How many lower laps do you think he can go under green?
Krahula is, well, I think he can go to lap 50. I think he's got 4. I'm going to give him 4 more. Lap 50 is where I called it. He's coming across right now, working lap 46. And then the story changes. Right now he's hoping for a yellow. Once you make that stop, then you need to stay green until everybody else comes in. That'll be about 18 laps more. Right behind Krahula, we just saw a shot of him, is Pierre Nightingale. Haven't talked much about the Canadian driver. One of the few non-stars and stripes driver here in the series. There's a few of them. And James Krahula comes in now. I was a little optimistic about him getting to 50. He gets to lap 47.
Just watching a good battle here with Isaiah Dupree and Vincent Blumenthal. They're running pretty close, nose to tail.
A battle for 12th. Dupree back there in the cartoon heart machine. The white car, the Pennzoil of Blumenthal. Not that far behind Daigle in 11th. Looking at Robert Blue in there in 24th position. Let's ride on board with Robert Bluen. Is that the first medical onboard camera? No, that is the Patrick Tiller Memorial car. There we go. For those new to the series, Patrick Taylor was a very dedicated member. Sadly lost his life to a surprise, very sudden death. We honor his memory with the Robert Bluen onboard camera there for Patrick. Edwin comes in. Peter making his stop in the number 18. I think we got about another 9 laps to go before they come in. Let's check in on P6. It's Big Joe Hazard and Jason Galvin. Galvin out in front.
Yeah, I was just watching this battle. These guys are starting to battle hard. I think tire wear and stuff's coming into play, and it's all about finding that clear air and be able to keep that momentum up off the corner. It's going to go back and forth with these guys.
That's Dylan McKenna, a lap down that the drivers are running up right behind, trying to get a tow on. Krahula goes around. It'll be fun in a minute. We'll check in on Krahula. He's having a fun time right now. There's James. Yeah, he's in 28th spot, but he's fast. He comes up behind Michael Goodman. Why is he so fast? If he just turned in, well, he just made a stop. He's on fresh rubber.
He is on the first class car a lap down. So, he'll benefit if we do have a yellow flag and all the leaders pit. We should be able to make that lap up. So this might work out for him. It's still early in the race to see how that plays out, but it still might work out for him.
Well, yeah, I got a hunch with the pace he's running. He's got a chance, even though he was in 10th when he came in. He's got a chance maybe to be the leader when everybody comes in. See, right now he's trying to get up behind the driver in 4th. That would be Michael Goodman. He's only 3 seconds behind the leader. We talked about whether you can pit and not lose a lap. In theory, Krahula's close enough that when the guys in front of him pit, Goodman, Adams, Kinsella, Blocker, he might be able to come all the way around.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. He can make those positions up. Pit stop didn't take as long as I thought compared to the lap times they were running.
Well, I think he did lose his lap, though. I just think he's flying right now.
He did lose his lap, but he came out ahead of where he was on the track. So he actually, it worked out for him. If we can get a yellow and he can stay out front, he will be the leader once again.
Dan Guerin coming in. Not sure why this is. He should have been able to go farther. Guerin's bad luck continues. We do a lot of broadcasts here on GSRC, but if memory serves, he had last week, and Amjad, you were with me, our director. I'll double check with him. Seems like he was on the way to a win until an internet cost him at the very end. Gave away that win. Not sure if that was him or not, but certainly Guerin has had his fair share of misfortune.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just part of racing on the internet. It's kind of just having a mechanical problem. It's happened to me.
Working lap 54 of a scheduled 120 here at Pocono, the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Round 5, the DirtyBlinds.com 300.
Yeah, so if 30 laps is a normal stint, we're pushing lap 26, it looks like. And so if we go any farther, we might start seeing some green flag pit stops coming up.
Well, that's the number we're given from the series officials. They always lie to us. I got a hunch they can go. Let's just out of a rule of thumb, let's add an extra 3 laps to that. Let's see if they can go 33. They don't like to want to make the commentators look too smart. Krahula, which I think is going to be your leader here in the next 4 or 5 laps. but it won't be for long. Let's go to 5th. Tony Schowen being chased by Jason Galvin.
And right
Galvin.
behind them is Big Joe and Brian Yazik right as well.
There's a move up in 5th. Ducking underneath. Galvin gets that pass. Boy, he tries to get the pass made. Look at this. He got him. He had him all the way. He just couldn't clear him.
With those tires burned off, it's really tough to hold that bottom line this long into the stint. Now they're trying to fight it into the tunnel turn as well.
Well, Richie, help me out here. Why, when you have new tires, obviously you're going to be able to run the low line. That's great. But wouldn't you be just that much faster on the high line as well?
Well, if you can keep it flat out, obviously the shortest distance is the fastest way. But unfortunately, as the tires wear out, what you gain in distance, you lose in basically the car sliding. So it kind of nets out that way.
Basically, the new tires let you run the shortest distance that you can't run later. That makes sense. Got it. When will they pit? Adam Blocker working lap number 30 on this set of tires.
He's got quite a lead on Andrew, so he can kind of lift a little bit, take it easy. He might be able to stretch it out an extra lap, which really might be a big deal at the end of the race here.
Now they come in Larkamp, Moeller, Bolster, Graff, Greenleaf, Johnson, Workman. That's all coming in. Oh, let me correct that. You gave the wrong name. Blumenthal, Dupree, and Anzaldo. There's your pitters. Darn color blindness. Read the wrong color.
So the guys up front, they're probably all waiting for Adam to hop into the pit. So it's going to be just kind of a lead follow into the pits.
This is going to be very fun to watch James Krahula work his way around. He is about 3 seconds plus a lap behind Blocker. Blocker could be coming in this time. Bob Mike is coming out. I hear it coming in from somebody, but it's not Blocker.
Andrew Kinsella's coming in the pits.
And James Krahula races by.
And it looks like Adam Blocker's going to make you look like a smart guy there, coming around for lap 33.
That's it. I've been doing this long enough. I know how to read the numbers. Now, Kinsella's yet to even get to... Now he's finally in his box. What we're trying to see is where is Krahula. Kinsella starts to roll. Krahula just coming out of 4. I think Kinsella's going to get up to speed. I don't think Krahula's going to get there. Nope, Kinsella's already through 2. So Kinsella was able to make the stop without losing a lap to Krahula. Krahula now back in 16th.
We got Adam Blocker in the pits coming into his box.
Blocker is in. Kinsella was a few seconds behind him before the stops. Now Blocker rolls.
Now, where is Kinsella on the track?
He's coming.
He's got a little traffic in front of him, but he's got the momentum. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to get there.
Oh, I think he does. He rolls because of the speed. He rolls him by.
He had the draft as well, so he's definitely beat him on the pit stops.
So Kinsella and Blocker. Your leader right now, well, he just came in. Scott Johnson was your leader for just a second. I think he led actually coming across the pit lane start-finish line. Yeah, I guess he did not get credit with leading a lap as he didn't get to the start-finish line. So, let's catch our breath and show you what we got going on. Your new leader, Andrew Kinsella, as he's able to jump Adam Blocker during the pit window. Kinsella's time in the box, 10.6 seconds. Blocker, 10.5. Kinsella actually a little bit slower in pit lane. Nevertheless, he's out in front. But then it is a huge gap, huge in terms of what we've seen so far. 2.3 seconds. All the way back to Ian Adams in third. Another couple seconds back to Michael Goodman in fourth. Tony Schoen rounds out your top 5. The man we've been watching on the alternate strategy, James Krahula, back in 9th. But all the magic has gone out of those tire set now.
Yeah, he made up a few positions, but now he's on the other side of that tire life, so he's going to have to redo this whole thing again and hope for a yellow to come out and just help him out a little bit.
Remember, all things considered, though, as he qualified 29th, so let's just assume he doesn't have the pace of the guys. Getting on that alternate strategy puts him in the picture.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at it that way, it's a good move. And you know, if things fall his way, he can move up a couple more positions. I mean,
look at this. This is 12th. Now, this is a run from behind. That is Degla in the green car. I guess that's green. Right behind Bluthenthal. No-name racing machine of Degla. In the mix also, Isaiah Dupree. Dupree has been running a great race. Started 16th, racing in 14th, staying out of trouble. Let's see if Daigle can make a pass. He's got a had a run.
Yeah, he's right on top of him and really should try to get down low, get some clean air on that front wing in order to get that run off the corner. If you go right into the corner, right behind the guy, like he is, I mean, you really wash out that front end. You got to get off the gas and you lose all that momentum.
Pierre Daigle racing in the number 14 car, which is a good lead-in for my trivia question here that we're just going to do old school. Richie, let's see how you do on this one, okay? Now, you're from California, so Rick Mears from Bakersfield, he has 3 career wins at Pocono. Richie, take a guess. What driver has the most career wins at Pocono?
I'm going to guess Rick Mears.
No, that was Rick Mears has 3.
I know. I thought you were tricking me. Oh. So I'm going to go with.
I'll give you a clue.
What an answer.
No. What caught me, what reminded me of this one, I looked at Pierre Nightingale racing in the number 14 car. It is AJ Foyt.
I should have taken that clue. My bad.
There you go. Blocker has made the pass back up to P1. Kinsella following him around Dylan McKenna. With Dan Guerin out of the picture, Kinsella and Blocker, they're the cream of the crop right now.
Yeah, they got a healthy 4-second lead over Ian Adams. So they're basically racing for the lead by themselves here.
Now a driver, as we ride on board with Blocker, looking back at Kinsella. Boy, that's a good shot our director has found. Look at that. Pennsylvania sky pushing down on the track. We ride looking off the left suspension of Adam Blocker. Driver I want to talk about is Michael Goodman. Had a win last time on the road course at Watkins Glen. He was racing up with the guys. He's fallen back a little bit, racing in 4th right now behind Ian Adams. With a bit of a run. Come on, Michael, you're on screen. Let's see a pass. Not going to do it. Be a good chance to talk about our hard charger, but unfortunately it's the same one as it always is, Chris Lanini. I'm beginning to think maybe Lanini might have been doing a little sandbagging there with that 41st qualifying run. Chris is better than that.
And that way he can get mentioned for the hard
Yeah.
charger.
Not falling for that next time, Chris.
You know, if we can go up to Adam Kinsella and ride on board with him, I'd like you to see how he's going into these corners and how he's always going a different line than Adam Blocker. And that's what I was talking about. You can't go in following the guy because you lose the arrow off the front. So if you watch him go into the corner here, whatever line Adam takes, he goes a different direction. And that's how he's going to go up high, get that clean air, and it just basically saves your car for a little bit longer run.
So apparently the new Dallara didn't quite get the aero push problem solved, huh?
Well, you're always going to have some. You know, I think it's helped a lot. It's not totally dependent. I mean, as long as you have wings, you're going to use them, right? So there's always going to be some. But the more you can drive like how he's doing right now, it basically saves your tires for a push later on.
We've crossed the halfway mark, working lap number, 50 to go. That's a nice number. Let's do a little math here. 50 to go. And our leaders have been out there for about 10 laps. Well, you add 10 and 50, you get 60. That would be a 30-lap stint. We know they can go at least 31 or 32, so I think one more stop from here gets us home.
Yeah, if we go green the whole way, it's definitely going to be one stop. And, you know, I think the fact that Andrew pitted a lap earlier than Adam might play a part. There's just that little bit of extra fuel you have to put in the car might make the difference of jumping him on the track.
Let's go back and look at the battle here for 13th position. We've checked on these guys before. This is Bluthenthal and Stefan Larkamp. Stefan hails from Pennsylvania. Little home court advantage for the boy. Isaiah Dupree back there in 15th, looking on. Boy, you can sure get the feel of the drivers just putting in the miles now. Little nerves early on. We got those 2 early cautions.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we got little battles here and there as Steven Larkamp goes by. Looking on Vincent for the inside. But they're kind of just riding it out here.
And look at this. Are we actually going to see a pass? My gosh, Stefan Larkamp makes a pass on track. Moves up to 13th. He gets around Bluthenthal. And I think Bluthenthal might have got caught up in the wash of Larkamp. He loses a lot of momentum, and that drops him right back. Isaiah Dupree maybe thought he had possibility of getting around.
Yeah, and Steven Larkamp, he started 12th, running 13th. He's looking to kind of get back up into that top 10. He's got a couple guys in front of him, and he's kind of chasing them down a little bit. So, you know, maybe he saved his tires a little bit better than some of the other guys in front of him.
Look at our battle for 5th. Side by side. On the top side, that's Jason Galvin. Down low is Tony Schowen. Schowen trying to, actually, he lost that position. And now look at the run. That is the 11th car of Big Joe Hassard. Schowen going the wrong direction.
And that's Big Joe kind of showing you how you take advantage of somebody having to get out of the gas in the middle of the corner. He loses all that momentum. So it was really good timing by him to make that pass.
Gives us an opportunity to talk about Jason Galvin in 5th. I'm telling you, boys and girls, you got to watch out for him. We talked about it in the countdown to green. He missed a race, sitting 3rd in the points. He's got a second, and a 6th, and here he is running inside the top 5 now. Galvin, another one of those drivers where he's his own worst enemy. He seems to have his demons under control. Putting in the miles.
Yeah, especially starting in that 17th spot. Him and Big Joe moved up quite a bit to run 5th and 6th, and that's just really good, smart racing. And just put the miles in here and try to make it up on this last pit stop.
He owns his own real-world racing team that he drives, and I wonder if having a racing team where you have to pay for repairs, I wonder if that tempers your racing and sim racing as well.
It might do the opposite, because on sim racing you can take out those demons without any penalty, right?
Richie, when you were racing in the real world, what was the biggest deterrent to crashing? Was it fear of injury, or was it the financial cost?
Probably the fear of disappointing all the people that help you get there, the crew. You know, you didn't really think about the financial. You couldn't really think about the financial too much. I mean, obviously, you know how much it costs, but you know, when you put all the people, you see how many people put effort into that program, and when you go out there and make a dumb mistake, disappointed with.
You cut out there, but that was an interesting answer. That was not the answer I would expect. So it was just the disappointment of all the people that put in the time and the effort.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. It's just it's like disappointing your parents. You know.
Got it.
You want to make them proud. So that was probably the biggest disappointment.
Krahula on that weird strategy. He is in, unfortunately for James, with 43 laps to go. Unless he has some magic fuel lines that hold extra fuel. You can tell that I watched Days of Thunder last night. He's going to need to stop one more time. I don't think he can go 42 laps. P3 is where we're looking. Yeah, and we talked about it. Here comes Michael Goodman. He goes underneath, though. Look at this. He gets it done. Adam got up high, and Adams had to just kind of lift. Keep an eye on Goodman. George Anzaldo coming in. Boy, these seem a little early for some of these guys.
Yeah, at that point, they're not going to be able to make it to the end. So, I mean, I think these guys really got to try to stretch it out to make it one more stop.
Not sure why Anzaldo was coming in. He had another 10 laps, at least he could have gone. Unless he's got something up his sleeve. 41 laps to go. We got off to a rough start. If that pace continued, we'd be still calling this race until, until Mother's Day. But fortunately, the drivers got their rhythm.
Yeah, looking at the top four there in Ian Adams, you know, looking at his last stop, he pitted about 4 laps earlier than some of the guys in front of him. So he's gonna be in trouble to be able to make it on one stop.
Yeah, he'll be close. He will be close. Of all the drivers that are out there, and with that said, oh my goodness, I think it's Dylan McKenna. Let's go to Dylan McKenna. Oh, put the hammer in the oven because the camel has learned to read. Oh my goodness. Oh. Woohoo!
He's got that death spin going. And unfortunately, he was, I believe he was a lap or 2 down.
Well, the death spin is the breath of life for some of these guys. It's too early, though. We are too early.
Yeah, this is really going to put a wrench in everything. And watching that replay, looks like he just kind of got up into the wall by himself.
I've asked for this before. The director refuses to give us an onboard camera of that one for fear it may injure some of the viewers. Okay. Yeah. Well, you've got to pit though, right? You've got to come in.
Yeah, I think you got to pit, you know, because if you don't and people behind you pit, you'll probably be in a little bit of trouble with the tires. So it's basically going to make this a 2-stop run here. Helps people out like Ian Adams, though.
And it'll put James Krahula, who is 1 lap down, he will not come in. He'll get the wave around, so he'll sort through. He'll be at the back of all the cars who've pitted. If I were a driver back there like Samuel Ryman, last car on the lead lap, go ahead, stay out there, go an extra 9 laps, one-stop this thing from here and see what happens. Of course, that's easy for me to say. I don't have to be in a car that's on 23-lap old tires in front of everybody on fresh rubber, but let's see if somebody has the intestinal fortitude to shake things up a bit.
And here they come.
All the lead lap cars.
I don't think there was any question that you needed to pit, and it'll just be this stop, and if it keeps going green, it'll be a real short fill. Everybody will be on the same strategy.
Samuel Ryman never listens to me. We're in the broadcast booth together and clearly not listening to my advice right now as he decides to come in as well. So what I think we're going to have is 21 drivers on, well, we'll get the wave around, so it looks like we're going to go all the way down to 28 drivers on the lead lap. Well, let's take this opportunity to take a break. That way we can get everything taken care of. We can go green to the checkered flag. Back in a few.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. It's the DirtyBlinds.com 300 from Pocono, round 5 on the season 6 schedule. Well, we don't think we have a sprint. We think we have a splash and go here. James Krahula is your leader. As he comes across the line right now, he will have 36 laps. Can somebody in the back stretch it? Remember, these are fixed setups. They do not get to play around with the fuel mixture. They have to do it old school. If they need to save fuel, it's going to be the right foot. Pass for the lead. Adam Blocker thinks that he does not have to worry about fuel as he takes the lead.
Driver in third, Michael Goodman.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Michael Goodman got his name in the hat up there, just kind of hanging with these guys, watching them move. He's going to go for second place here.
We talked about it before, that Goodman has the pace to run with these guys. He qualified fourth. He was running up with them earlier when Dan Guerin was in the mix. He fell a little bit back. He's up there now. The other driver that we haven't talked much about is Tony Schowen in fourth. Galvin in fifth. Big Joe Hazard is being passed by Ian Adams. Adams been running up front. They are side by side. Cialis Bathtubs into the corner. Adam backs out of it, gives the spot back to Big Joe Hazard.
These guys are racing pretty hard for the lead right now.
The question is, can they go the distance? We think not.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to go the distance at this pace. We're going to need at least one more yellow to help that out. And I think that's why you're seeing these guys race so hard. Probably because they know they can't make it, so you might as well make hay while you can.
Now that car up on the top side, that is Bob Micus of the Van Hansen Meat Machine. He is a lap down, or several laps down. You're correct, one lap down. Oh, and he puts it in the wall a little bit. That's trying to give as much room as possible. Galvin gets around him. Follow up on a few stories we'd been covering. Let's go back to 21st position. We've been looking at James Krahula because he had that interesting strategy. Well, now he's on it with everybody else, I believe. So, like my mom used to say, it all comes out in the wash.
Yeah, I mean, he still made up 8 positions where he started, so it's still positive.
And he got the wave around last time. So he's on a little older tires than the rest of these guys, and certainly he has no hope of going the distance. I'm telling you, one of these guys in the back is going to try to stretch this thing. Blocker now gets passed by Kinsella. Guys who are not stretching it like Richie just talked about are Kinsella and Blockers. They continue to swap spots.
I like the position that Goodman's in. You know, he's sitting there in their draft. He could be saving some fuel as well. Kind of listening to him on the throttle. He's lifting quite a bit.
Right on board with Michael Goodman in third. Oh my!
Oh, that's not good.
That's, well.
That's not the way to enter the pits.
No.
Yeah,
I'd like to point out that I did not choose that camera. That was that's director's curse. So, Michael Goodman. Oh my goodness.
Coming in hot there. Unfortunately, yeah, that's unfortunate because he was in a really good spot, and then no yellow comes out as well. So.
Well, now, and no yellow comes out. That's very interesting. I was sure we were going yellow, but he spins off the racing line. That would have made it really interesting for some of these guys if they wanted to pit or not. The yellow might have made them able to go the distance.
And then what also that made third and fourth place now kind of lift a little bit. So first and second's got a little bit of a gap. So we got Jason Galvin and Tony Schoen racing for third, but they lost touch with the leaders there.
There it is, but Galvin doing what he does. He's just putting in, getting these positions, looking for a podium spot now.
I mean, then Big Joe right behind him as well. I mean, he started 20th. He's all the way up to 5th spot.
Okay, I'm going to give you your surprise winner here. Let's go to 19th position. Scott Bolster. He's been out there the fewest laps of anybody. 1 lap better than the rest of these guys. If he could just take it easy, nurse this thing around, see if he can steal a win. Right now, he's just sitting behind Mitchell Moeller. Well, the fact that he's making the pass on Mitchell, that leads me to believe he's not thinking about nursing it. Oh, no! And that's right behind him, right there on screen. That is Brandon Limkeman. He got into Tyler Graft, and Brian, it's not easy being Greenlee, got a piece of him going by. Helped the rotation.
Oh, yeah.
Limkeman.
Then he's just kind of a ping pong ball right there with everybody behind him. And here's our yellow, though.
Yep.
Looked like he went on the inside there, kind of pushed up, tried to get out of the gas, and then just kind of, that was it.
Right on board with Brian Greenlee.
You see him down on the bottom, wash up, lift, and then, everybody kind of tagged him from behind. Looks like Greenlee's got some front wing damage as well.
I think he helped the momentum of that spinning car. Well, now, you do not have to pit with this yellow. You might be able to go the distance now, but you'll be slow. All right, Richie Hearn, what do you do?
Pit, pit, pit. Box, box, box. There's enough laps left. You got to pit, and now you can make it. And you can't just hope to save that much fuel. So you might as well just take the fresh tires.
I'm telling you right now, Robert Bluen, if you bring your car in for a pit stop, I'm not calling you the rest of the season. Stay out there. You guys in the back. Samuel Ryman, George Anzaldo. Drivers who can't do it. James Krahula is back there as well, but again, he's on that weird strategy. He's got about 5 laps longer than the rest of these guys.
Yeah, you're kind of in a weird spot here. There's enough laps left. Those tires, you just get murdered out there, so you might as well come in and hope to race your way to the front if you've been saving anything at all.
The guys in the back need to form like a union and disagree, like from 11th back, we'll all stay out. At least that way we'll have a cushion. All right, here they come. Anybody staying out? Come on, guys.
And watching these pit stops earlier, Andrew Kinsella has consistently beaten Adam out of the pit lane.
Somebody's listening to the broadcast. Scott Bolster stays out.
That's the guy that you put your money on.
There it is.
My money's going to be on one of these two guys, that either Adam or I think Andrew. They've been up front all day long.
Dan Garrett. Now, this is interesting. This is good news for Bolster. Because we're not within 10 laps, he'll have a little bit of a cushion. He's got Guerin behind him, Bob Micas. These are all the lap cars. Bart Workman, Matthew Mercer, Justin Weaver, David Courtney. Adam Blocker is going to come out there. So at least Bolster's going to have a little bit of cushion between him and the guys that are coming.
Yeah, I was just going to say that Galvin just passed Andrew in the pit lane and put himself into second now, so he's right there in the mix with these guys.
Yeah, he would be. Actually, if you're looking at, he second out of the pits behind Adam Blocker. So Galvin now up. Well, okay, it's third overall. But if we take Bolster out of the picture, it's Blocker, Galvin, Kinsella, Schowen, and Big Joe Hazard. There's your top 5, actually 6. But right now, it's Scott Bolster, qualified in 35th position.
I mean, when you qualify that far back, I mean, even if he fades to 10th spot,
right.
I mean, that's a huge gain for him.
Now some cars will get the wave around it. Actually, there's only going to be one. Ed King Tutwiler will get waved around the pace car. But unfortunately, Scott Bolster probably not even going to be faster than these cars that are lapped down. He's got Dan Guerin behind him. Of all the cars to have chasing you, the pole sitter.
I mean, if you're Scott, you probably know you're not going to win the race, but you can just milk it a little bit
Yeah.
and finish in the top 10, and that's a great day for starting that far back.
Racing out there in the Skull Bandit machine. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Round 5 from Pocono. We've got what I think is going to be a 24-lap sprint to the checkered flag.
Yeah, I hope we don't get a bunch of yellows because I want to see this kind of race out the way it's been for about the middle part of the race there.
Well, right now, Scott Bolster is hoping for some type of riot to break out between the two-dimensional fans, and they have to call this race early.
And you never know, we might get a bunch of yellow flags, and he just kind of hangs out in the first spot.
Yep, yellow flags are his friend right now. The less green lap racing he has to do, the better. Okay, the lights are off the pace car. And it is Scott Bolster, the man from Michigan. He's going to lead the field down into the first corner. 24 laps of racing to go. Behind him, Guerin. Oh my goodness, Blocker, there wasn't all those cars are gone. I thought there'd be a bigger cushion. That's not the case. Blocker is racing in second. Galvin, we're going to focus most of our attention back here on Blocker and Galvin with Kinsella. And there goes Galvin trying to make the top side work. He gets momentum. Look at this, Richie.
Yeah, he's carrying that speed around the outside. They all have fresh tires, so they both should be able to go flat out through turn 3. We got Adam Kinsella right behind him, just kind of watching what's going on, and they're sneaking up on Guerin and Bolster as well.
Blocker was covering the inside like wall-to-wall carpet. Now he needs the inside open, and that allows Galvin to get the good run down. He gets in front of Blocker, takes over what is virtually the lead here pretty soon. It's really second. Look at this battle going on.
Yeah, and Guerin's got ahead of Bolster, so that's Bolster right in front of them. This is the battle for first, second, third, and fourth. With Ian with 5th place, not far behind, Tony Schoen.
Bolster getting a little bit of a toe off of Dan Guerin, the pole sitter, who is several laps down.
We got Andrew Kinsella going around.
Yellow flag. And it is Cordy. Good news for Bolster. And the race control is talking, Jesse Vincent talking that Ian Adams is going to get a black flag wave. But another caution now.
Yeah, it just looks like Cordy just kind of got up high. I can't tell if he got any contact or not, but he just washed up in the tunnel turn and just kind of rim ride it there.
Well, this is great news for Bolster. First of all, he was going to be close to whether he could get to the end anyway. So now, although, can we put a camera on Bolster? Is he going incredibly slow? Maybe he's past the pace car? Yes, he's waiting for the pace car to come. There we go. And he comes back up around.
Yeah, he was about to get swallowed up by these guys, so this really helps him out. Saves some fuel. He's going to need a couple more of these, I think, because these guys are just, with the fresh tires, are just too quick, I think.
But like you said, he was going to be gobbled up. Well, now he's going to be gobbled up 4 laps later, so he's going to have less struggling to do here.
But he's still in position for a really good finish here.
He's been out there for 16 laps, about 11 laps longer than the rest of these guys. How about Jason Galvin? Man, has he been playing it smart. We've been watching him sitting back there, little by little. And now when it's time to go racing, Jason Galvin goes racing. Give us an opportunity to look at our hard charger. Well, that's kind of not fair as it is. Scott Bolster. Chris Lanini has been the hard charger for most of this race. Again, sandbagging from that 41st position, up 30 spots. Look at that Dougie Beard camera angles. They come at you. Love those low angle shots. Jason Galvin sits third in the points. Has a real chance to walk. Captain Obvious here. He's going to move up if he gets the win. But how far? Maybe to the lead.
Yeah, so what, we got 20 laps to go. And it's going to be quite a shootout between these basically 4 or 5 guys that have been up front most of the time here.
And Galvin made the pass when he had rubber, good rubber to get it done. We saw how difficult it is to make the pass now, so Kinsella is going to really have to work if he wants to get around him. Blocker too.
I was watching Andrew that last run, and it looked like he was just kind of taking his time and just letting these guys fight it out. So he's been up front before, so I don't think he's fallen off any. I think he's just waiting for that right time.
We've talked about the top 5. Let's look at the second half of the top 10. Big Joe Hassard in 6th position, up 14 spots. Ron Hacker in 7th. Now here's the runner-up from Watkins Glen, Stefan Larkamp. Enjoying a little home cooking. The Pennsylvania driver sitting in 8th. Pierre Nightingale in 9th. And all race long, it seems like Isaiah Dupree has been looking at the gearbox of Daigle. 3 and 10th. You see that fluorescent blue machine of Lanini. He's in 11th. Talk about the next 5. Bluthenthal. Brian Greenlee in 13th. He almost got a piece of that last incident. Still out there racing well. Tyler Graff, 38th to 14th. And then Mr. Contrarian, James Krahula, in 15th. Is he good to go from here? You never know. Yes, James is fine. Interesting enough, Krahula back on the same pit strategy as the majority of the field. In fact, the entire field, with the exception of Bolster.
Looks like the lights are out.
Director, anybody we need to give a little love to here before we go green? How about Mitchell Bowler in 20? Give him in 18th position. Mitchell, we love you. Now, with the apologies to the rest of the field, we're going to focus our attention up top. Pace car is in. It is Scott Bolster leading them down into the first corner, but for how long? For how long? Galvin has got to make the move, and he's got to make it quick and easy. It has to be surgically done so he doesn't lose momentum to Kinsella. Kinsella has a huge hole. The 2 cars punch a giant hole, and there goes Have a Catch underneath.
3 wide into the tunnel turn. That was a bold move by Andrew. And like I said, I think he was just sitting there waiting for his time. These guys are going to run hard here.
Galvin said, I made the top side work before. I tried again. The car gets really loose. Bolster now tucked underneath Galvin. Bolster looking to the inside. I don't think he'll have anything for him on those old tires. But what it does is it keeps Blocker behind him. Blocker looking for any way around Bolster right now. Bolster able to run fast laps because he can stay in the tow. Blocker gets checked up. Here comes Tony Schowen, but he has to check up as well. Andrew Have a Catch Kinsella makes the move as he goes from 3rd to 1st. Look at the run from Galvin. Again, Kinsella guards the middle. Kinsella saying, put on the reggae music. If you want to pass me, you're going to have to do it high. Galvin says, okay, now he ducks to the inside. Boy, they are really close together. The blue car of Galvin has a half car length lead into 1. I think he's going to be able to close the door. Does he slide up in front of Kinsella? He does. Kinsella will get a good run off of 2. Too far back. Richie,
We got Adam Blocker back. Yeah, it was a hell of a pass, but Adam Blocker's stalking these guys, and it's really exciting watching these two battle up front. But I'm watching Adam Blocker right here in the in-car. Here he comes. See what lane he takes. First goes to the bottom, second goes to the top, third goes to the bottom. Gonna get a good run off of this corner. This is pretty awesome racing going on with 16 laps to go.
Weaving all over the place is Galvin, your leader. Kinsella, what Richie talked about, taking the alternate line, trying to get fresh air, clean air on the nose of the car.
You can tell these guys are knowing the end of the race is coming, because now they're starting to weaving back and forth down the straightaway to try to break that draft any way they can. Here comes Andrew on the inside. Adam's right behind them as well. Andrew's going to go to the lead temporarily right here.
He gets it done out of 3. New leader Kinsella. Blocker back there realizing he saw what Kinsella did. When they get side by side, it's possible that you can sneak it from 3rd. Now they go 2 wide into 1. Galvin, the only driver who feels comfortable up top making that car work, and he gets it. Kinsella tries to guard the inside. I think maybe you might want to think about guarding the outside now.
I was just going to say, I think that outside lane is going to be the way to go.
Oh, and it is Ian Adams. He's in the wall. He's trying to keep the car going straight, but he can't. We bring out the yellow. The car finally turns around.
Looks like he just washed up out of turn 1 and tried to hang tight so he didn't get in anybody else's problem. But that's going to bring out the caution, so this is going to be quite a shootout at the end. Got Scott Bolster down to 7th place, so he's hanging tight.
Yellow flags are good for him. Clearly the drivers up front are not going to pit. There's just not enough time. Drivers in the back will come in and top off you in the back of the lead lap, and you can pick up a few positions there. How many cars are on the lead lap? Well, 23. I would expect to see drivers like Dustin Wardlow back in 17th probably come in. They won't get up to the front, but they'll finish better than they are right now.
Yeah, right now those guys in the back are just looking to get anything they can. These guys in the front, man, this is that was quite a hell of a battle we had going on between these 3. So I'm looking forward to seeing this continue for the last 10 laps, I guess.
Yeah, and really, I gotta think that Jason Galvin has got to be feeling pretty good right now. Passing is harder once the tire gets older, so at least he was out in front when the yellow came out. That's going to put the pressure on, clearly, again, Kinsella and Blocker to make the move. But it's going to be harder to do it as if they were just coming out of the pit lane with fresh rubber. They're going to have to try to do it on old rubber.
Well, I mean, everybody's going to have the same amount of wear. And
yeah, but that inside line maybe not going to be as friendly as they all start to play around with making pit stops. Yeah, boys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Bunch of fakers. I think that high line is going to be the way to go, because you're going to keep the momentum up, and you can pinch. If that guy comes underneath you, and you can kind of pinch him down and force him to lift, it's really tough to make that pass as those tires wear out.
Drivers who do come in: Yazik, Mercer, Moeller, all these guys at the back. Drivers who stay out, we go all the way down to, I'll give you the numbers here as soon as timing and scoring sorts itself out here on my wonderful software. What I can tell you is Jason Galvin is leading, and he's feeling good. Kinsella and Blocker behind him. Kinsella and Blocker have been up front the whole time. Galvin is new to the party. Schown and Big Joe Hassard in 4th and 5th. The back half of your top 10. Ron Hacker, Scott Bolster, Stefan Larkamp, and then the next one, Pierre Nightingale, followed by Isaiah Dupree. Daigle needs to put some type of sticker on the back of his wing there that Dupree could read, like, "Hi, Isaiah," or something like that.
It's funny is I'm listening to Adam Blocker in his car, and he's got it in neutral and just peg, trying to burn off as much fuel as possible. You can see that right there. So they're looking to get any advantage they can here.
$13 to go. Now you have to remember, they're not just racing to the checker flag, they're racing to what we call the point of no return, which would be, boy, here, what would we think, lap 4, maybe lap 5? If a yellow were to come out, the race would be over.
Yeah, it usually takes about 5 laps. So I think once we pass lap 115, next flag ends it, basically.
Scott Bolster, after he stayed out, he is hanging in there. And again, these yellow flags are perfect for him. If it would have been a green run all the way to the end, he would have been gobbled up not only by the 6 cars ahead of him, but by 12 or 13 cars that are behind him. Right now, he only needs to hold on for 12 more laps.
Yeah, and he was hanging pretty tight with those guys up front for a little while, even on those old tires. So, anything he can get from here on out is going to be a positive for him.
Another thing to note when we do the final standings, Brian Yosik is the leader of all the cars who just made that stop. He's in 19th position. I'm going to think that Brian here with 12 laps to go could probably pick up 5 or 6 spots. So look at him inside the top 15. Jason Galvin. He'll be in control. The lights are off the pace car. When he comes around, it'll be 11 laps of racing. That would be 27.5 miles.
This restart's going to be real key, I think, for all these first 3 guys. It's going to really shape the momentum for how we're going to finish.
Jason, protect the top side. That's what I'm saying here, buddy. The low side's not going to work anymore. We'll see what happens. The pace car pulls in. Galvin wastes no time to get on the throttle. We are going green here at Pocono with 11 laps to go. Galvin, Kinsella, Blocker, Schowen, Hassard. They race 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The blue car of Blocker looking for something to do. He does not. Look at the run from Kinsella off of 2.
Oh boy, here we go.
3 wide. Blocker underneath.
Galvin had to get out of it.
Oh my gosh. Hassard almost into it. Up front, Kinsella. Blocker was not able to make the pass. They come out of 3. With 10 to go, it's going to be Have a Catch and Blocker. Galvin filed back to 3rd. Schowen and Hassard battling for 4th position. Up front, Blocker makes the move on Kinsella.
Blocker goes down low, is able to hold that spot. But here comes Andrew getting that run on the high side, giving him the momentum back to the inside for turn 2, and he goes right back to the lead here.
Now they head towards 3. Galvin has fallen back a little bit. Let's see what Blocker does in the blue car coming out of 3. It's going to be Kinsella who's going to get credit with leading this lap. And we have 9 to go. Kinsella takes the car down low. Now lets it drift back up to get a good entry into 1. Blocker too far back. This is where they get the run, Richie, out of this corner here.
Yeah, you're going to see a big run by Blocker. He's in the draft. He's going to get a good run going into the tunnel turn here. Kinsella's going to make him go to the high side.
Too far back that time to make the move. They start to distance themselves from Galvin. Blocker right up behind him. Dives down underneath to get some clean air on the nose. Kinsella holds him off one more time. 8 to go.
And this is where it gets really tough for Adam. Your tires are worn out, but you're still sucked up in the draft. You just got to find that right moment to be able to poke right onto the inside. Maybe, no, he cuts him off. shuts that off. You can see how much momentum he loses by having to back off the throttle there. He's going to have to work at this another time.
Let's go back to third position. Galvin has fallen back. Look at what's happening back here. That's Hassard in the mix with Schowen. Hassard, I think, should have a good run here. I think Galvin may be a sitting duck. Half a car length back. He ducks underneath. He goes down low. Galvin protects the top side. He knows he can get a good run out of 3. Hassard has it throttled down. Galvin's going to get credit with leading the lap, but the pass is not finished. Now it'll be tough for Hassard to get any kind of grip down here. He does his best to do it. Galvin is slow on the top side. Hassard is going to get the pass made.
And unfortunately, Galvin got up a little too high, had to back out of it. Really impressed with Big Joe running this race. Started 20th up to 3rd place, fighting off Jason Galvin, who's going on the inside into turn 2.
Up front a little closer now. Blocker has run down. We continue on this battle. Now they're coming at you. That's Kinsella weaving the car back and forth. Blocker too far back to make anything happen right now. Galvin has got 3rd position back. Here comes Big Joe Hassard on the top side this time into 1. Best battle on the track right now is for 3rd.
Yeah, that is the best battle for sure.
Hassard couldn't get anything done. There's single file behind him. Hacker. Stefan Larkamp making a move in 7th, trying to go underneath Tony Schowen. You look on board, right off the back of Hassard. There you see Larkamp, and Larkamp gets the pass made, move him up to 6th. Kinsella begins to pull away. 5 laps to go. Andrew Kinsella looking to pick up his 3rd win of the season. He is your points leader. He is your race leader. He was last season's Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I don't think Adam, he's used up his car and he's got nothing for Andrew anymore. So he's just looking for that 2nd place finish. I mean, the really good battle is a little bit farther back. Your buddy Scott Bolster hanging tight.
Hanging in 8th position. And who's he got behind him? James Krahula. Krahula with a run should be able to get this pass made. They go into 1 side by side. I would think that yellow car should be able to get... No, Krahula can't do it. Bolster fends him off.
Yeah, Bolster's able to hang on the outside and get that momentum. We're kind of in that magic zone here, so if we get a yellow, this race is effectively over. I think these guys know this, so that's why they're battling so hard.
Andrew Kinsella comes out of 3. And speaking of 3, there are 3 laps to go. Blocker not able to stay with him. Big Joe Hassard has distanced himself from Galvin. We talked about Yazik with those new tires. Oh my goodness. He's up to 12th, and he's got Dupree and Degla in his sights. We have time to watch this one. Let's watch Brian Yazik do his stuff.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to get into that top 10, I believe.
He's going to be able to pick up Dupree right here, which will be refreshing for Isaiah because finally he won't be looking on the tailpipe of Degla. Yazik not quite able to do it. Crisellini right behind him. 2 to go. Andrew have a catch. Kinsella out in front by 9/10 of a second.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by how Andrew's driving right now. I mean, I really thought we'd have a stronger battle, but once he got in the lead, he just kind of took off and kind of left Adam Blocker in the dust, and I don't know if it's because he used up his tires or what, but kind of made it a little bit boring there up front.
Let's go to 7th real quick. I know the white flag is coming out. This is Bolster. Krahula on the top side. I think it's going to get it. Move Krahula up to 7th. Bolster hanging on in 8th. Tony Schowen in 9th. But the white flag lap is out. And it is out of 1, heading towards 2. It is Andrew Kinsella. He's kind to children and animals. He likes to smoke cigars. He's got one more corner to go, and he'll pick up his third win of the season. Round number 5. The DirtyAir.com 300 goes to Andrew Kinsella, second place. Blocker, Big Joe Hassard. Jason Galvin, Ron Hacker. We're going to take a quick look at Isaiah Dupree. Our director has found this one. We'll be looking at this one. That's Dupree in the white car. He's being challenged, and does the car get loose as he comes around? Oh, it starts to... Oh, my goodness. He loses connection on the white flag lap. Oh.
Yeah, not just the white flag, but the last turn. So that's really disappointing. I'm sure he's not very happy about that.
Well, the racing is over here at Pocono, but our broadcast is far from done. As Andrew Kinsella does some celebratory donuts, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Welcome back to the DirtyBlinds.com 300 and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. You know, if you're struggling to find something for the person who has everything, do I have the website for you? Plasma-Tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsports fabrications are also available. Words cannot do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself. But be warned, one visit and the next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince your spouse why you need a Plasma Track wall art hanging in your home. See all the Plasma-Tracks.com, their family of products at Plasma-Tracks.com, and use promotional code LRS 2018 to get 25% off your order. And now let's do 100% of the HPP finishing order for the DirtyBlinds.com 300. It is Andrew Kinsella. He qualified in 6th. He comes home in 1st. Adam Blocker had a chance, but in the end, he didn't have anything for having catch. He has to settle for 2nd. How about that run from Big Joe Hassard? Up 17 spots to 3rd. Jason Galvin had the lead for a while until he faded to 4th. Ron Hacker rounds out your top 5. The back half of your top 10, Stefan Larkamp, the Pennsylvania-grown boy, in 6th position. James Grahula, with those new tires, my gosh, look at that, comes home in 7th. Scott Bolster, Brian Yozik, the new tires, comes home in 9th. Tony Schowen in 10th. Richie?
Yeah, coming up in 11th spot, we got Pierre Daigle. Kind of hung around that spot most of the day. Chris Lanini, way up from his starting spot to finish 12th. We got Tyler Graff in 13th. Vincent Bluthenthal in 14th. Brian Greenlee had a little contact earlier on in 15th. One of our buddies here, Samuel Ryman, in 16th. Didn't even got a starting qualifying order, or qualifying spot, so that was good for him. George Anzaldo in 17th. Robert Bluen in 18th. Mitchell Moeller in 19th. And Dustin Wardrow rounding out the top 20.
Hey, hidden blackjack, and I like when the drivers organize themselves, the top 20 drivers all on the lead lap. Now we get the guys who had trouble. Hidden blackjack, Scott Johnson, Isaiah Dupree, who had internet connections on the final corner. He could see the checkered flag. He has to settle for 22nd position. Dan Guerin comes home in 23rd after leading for much of the race. Matthew Mercer and Bob Mikas, 24th and 25th. Justin Weaver, Bart Workman, Ed Tutwiler, Ian Adams, and David Courtney round out 30th position. Richie?
And coming up in 31st spot, we got Brandon Linkerman, had some trouble early on. Michael Goodman, 32nd. Dylan McKenna in 33rd. Peter Edwins and Chris Stouffer in 34th and 35th. We got Jack Bogan rounding out 36th spot. 37th is Woody Mahan. 38th is Ken Hacker. And Brian Beard and the Racing Kangaroo Gray there in 39th and 40th.
Let's go ahead and bring in our race winner, and we'll go ahead and talk with Andrew Kinsella. Congratulations, Andrew. 3rd win of the season. Had it going at the end.
Yeah, wow. That was a fun restart there. I knew we were on old tires, so I knew that I had about a lap and a half, maybe 2 good laps out of those tires to get that moved on Jason there, and just made it stick. But fortunately, was able to keep Adam behind me. He had a really fast car as well all race. We were basically 1-2 for, I don't know, probably 3/4 of this race. So it's good to bring it home 1-2, and fortunate to be able to pull it out there at the end.
Let's talk racing line and what lines to defend when the tires are a little fresher and they start to go away. It looked like for a while you were covering the inside.
Yeah. So basically there are 2 strategies. When you're following, you want to go where the guy in front of you isn't, and when you're in front, you kind of want to go where the other guy, or where at least you anticipate the other guy is going to be. And I knew Adam had been really working the low side all race long, so I just knew that I had to stick down to the inside because he wasn't as comfortable as I was on the outside. I had been working the outside. I knew I could make it work, but I knew Adam hadn't really figured it out yet. So I just stuck to the inside, hoped that he wouldn't be able to figure out the outside in time, and it worked out.
Well, congratulations. You are on a roll. Keep it going the rest of the way. You got Rookie of the Year last season, maybe a championship this season.
Absolutely, that's the goal, and just wanted to give a shout out to the rest of Adrenaline Motorsports. We did a great race again today with Adam coming second. Tony was fighting up there the entire race. Got shuffled back to I think 10th at the end, but opened up a little lead in the team championship as well. And of course, thanks to all the sponsors like HPP, the Sim Pit, all those guys that help us put this on, and of course, thanks to you guys as well.
All right, good luck the rest of the way. There's your race winner, Andrew Kinsella. We'll let Richie talk to our second place finisher today. That would be Adam Blocker.
And Adam, you got a copy there?
Yes, I do.
Well, Adam, it was pretty exciting from where we were watching. Tell us a little bit about your race there.
Well, it was a pretty great race. I don't think that's definitely my best oval race so far in Lionheart. Between Kinsella and I, we dominated the whole race. I think we led like 91 of the 120 laps. I was wishing it went green, and we didn't get that last little patch of yellows because I was sure I was going to win because I had a little gap back to Kinsella and we had a huge lead over the other guys. But we got the yellows and I got shuffled back a little bit. I think I was in fourth with one of the last restarts, but we got past Bolster. Then I made it 3 wide to get past Galvin, and I knew from there, Kinsella and I had 1-2. And I could have gotten him. I just didn't know the line in 3. Because I hadn't been following cars that much at the race, so I didn't really know what the best line was when following. So I only really knew the low line. I didn't want to try the high line and end up in the wall. So played it kind of cautious, and as a result, I got some bad push a couple times and had to lift. But I'll definitely take second from that race. It's a good points day and just another really solid result to build on last week's win at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, absolutely. A first and a second the last 2 weeks is pretty nice. I was watching the last little bit of that, and you and Galvin were battling it out in the front. Kinsella was just kind of hanging out behind you, and when he made his move and got to the front, I was surprised that you kind of faded a little bit. Was your tires just too worn out at that point?
No, my tires weren't worn out. I just Kinsella just took a different line in 3 than the other guys I was following all day, and I couldn't figure it out. Like I was just really sensitive there. I could get a good run out of 1 and 2, but in 3 I just got pushed a couple times, and once you get with this track today and everything, once you get 8 or 9 tenths behind somebody, it's hard to break that barrier. But if you're already within half a second, it's not hard to get a big run on them. So it was just kind of like that. I got pushed one time, and that put me outside that window. And after that, he would have had to make a mistake for me to catch up realistically, or I would have had to get a great run, and I wasn't willing to risk it all, and risk throwing it in a wall. So definitely a case of just looking long term and making sure I got the results. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably a smart way to go there. Well, once again, congratulations on second place coming off your win last week. And anybody you'd like to thank for this?
Yeah, I'd like to thank mainly my team. Stouffer was strong. He got caught up in other people's mess. And then Shawan was a big help with fuel numbers, and he also deserved a top 5. He was really strong tonight. And Andrew and I, I want to thank Andrew for working with me all night. We did a good job to make sure that we were the first 2. We definitely worked together to make sure that Goodman or Galvin or whoever else was up there, couldn't get past us, and we finished 1-2, and we accomplished that. So pretty happy with tonight, and definitely looking forward to tomorrow at Interlagos and Retro and Motegi.
Well, awesome. Yep, we'll see you there tomorrow night.
Yep, see ya.
Adam Blocker, our second place finisher. Let's go ahead and talk to the man who came home in third, and that would be Joe Hassard. We can get Joe down into the booth. Here comes Joe Hassard right now. He's already had 2 thirds already. This time he picks up his third of the season. Joe, played it smart early on, but boy, at the end, you were racy. Joe Hassard not able to hear us right now. He would say yes.
I'm sorry.
There we go.
Well, my mic went into auto shutdown, so I didn't hear a thing you said.
Your third of the season so far, but you played it smart early on. At the end, you had some stuff to race with.
Yeah, I think I got caught up in one of those early incidents. I thought I got tagged on the tail, and I think I had a tiny bit of damage. So I didn't really have closing speed on anybody in the draft all night. So, but I was able to stay in the pack, stay in the race. I was able to stay up front if I got clean air, but I just had a hard time closing on guys. So we got to the end, and me and Jason ended up getting side by side. He told me he thought he had damage. I went to pass him, and then he raced me. And then those 2 took off, and I ended up getting around him, but it cost us potentially trying to split those 2 up.
No Name Racing having a bit of a tough time, but you got to be happy with the way your season's going so far.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even start the race last week because we wrecked before the start-finish line, but my goal this year is just to try to play, learn from the best in my buddy Jake Wright there, and just try to be patient and let things come to me. And I've been running up front and staying out of trouble. Last week was rough. I would have liked to. I just wanted to finish that race. Now we don't even get to start. But I think I have more top fives and more top tens this year than I had all of last year already, and it's week 5. So it's gravy from here on out. Hopefully, I got a chance to contend for some good points positions at the end of the year.
I guarantee you keep finishing third every race, you'll get the championship. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thanks.
No hazard, Mr. Third Place. all right, finally, we're going to let Richie Hearn have the honor of asking Jason Galvin a question.
Yeah, Jason, you were up there leading that group and unfortunately got shuffled back to 4th place. How did that happen for you?
Yeah, I ended up in 4th because of the contact with Tony there. And I mean, I kind of knew I was a sitting duck on that restart, and I think I made a mistake in 1. I came off 1 and went low, trying to force Andrew up high, and I didn't realize Adam had such a run, and Adam went 3 wide, and I don't blame him. And then once the 2 of them got clear of me, it kind of felt like to me, like, and I haven't listened to their interview, so I don't know if it's what they did, but it kind of felt like to me that the 2 of them kind of got together and said, hey, one of us wins and the other one makes sure that, we don't lose type of deal. Because they kept, no matter who was in second, and for the most part it was Adam, they kept kind of adjusting their line in the corner to take the air off my nose. So, I mean, I'm not mad at them. It's not in the rules. I don't blame them. I would have done the same thing. I'm sure Joe and I, if we were up there, would have done the same thing. It's totally part of racing. It happened to me in my real life car last week. So, good for them. They were the class of the field all night. Joe and I had to fight all night to get up there. And I think I'm a little frustrated because I think I threw away the 3rd place. I just went into 1 and, Adam was kind of running the high line into 1 the lap before. And so I went low, and I think he saw that and he came low, and it took way more air off my nose than I thought, because I thought they were farther ahead. So I came up out of 1 and I was out of the throttle, wheel cranked, and was convinced I was going to hit the wall. And when it finally kind of unbinded, it pulled me back down in front of Tony, unfortunately, who I kind of honestly figured was just going to come high up out of the corner in his normal line. And by the time I realized that and the car was turned, just wasn't anything I could do. Certainly didn't do it intentionally. It almost ended Tony and I's nights, and we were both having good runs. So I feel bad. It cost Tony a top 5, and I know it damaged me. My car felt a little funky after. I was kind of scared I was going to lose it in the next corner. And, I know Tony definitely had some damage. So it worked out for Joe. It was a good night for No Name. I'm excited that we even got up there and that I got by those 2 and had a chance to lead some laps, or a lap at least, and compete for a win. And, based on how qualifying went, probably didn't deserve to be there. But I guess if you're mad about a 4th place, that's the type of run that you need if you want to compete for a championship, right? So we'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was very exciting for us to watch. And thanks for joining us up here in the booth. And we'll see you next time.
Global Electronic Technology 200 at Motegi. Looking forward to it. Going to go out and try to win my sponsors race.
Jason Galvin, our 4th place finisher today. Okay, that's going to do it for the Global Sim Racing channel, but we have to thank our sponsors. First of all, got to thank First Medical Equipment. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. And now, Ricky, you give one.
Yeah, I definitely like to thank Butt Kicker for coming on board, and Butt Kicker products add instant immersion to any game. And like a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, Butt Kicker products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Butt Kicker products add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Use the promo code LION20 to get 20% off your next order.
HPP Simulations. When it's time to go sim racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations. Designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment, HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit www.hppsimulation.com.
To contact any of our sponsors you see on the screen right now, go to LionheartRacingSeries.com. Click on 2018 sponsors, read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on any of the company logos.
On the screen right now are just some of the companies, equipment, and software we use on this broadcast. The iconic music that lets your ears alert your eyes you're watching a GSRC production comes courtesy of Eric Eckelman and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
The Lionheart IndyCar Series returns in 1 week, May 9th, for Round 6 from the Twin Rig Motegi Oval in Japan. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you can join us. Sliding across your screen now are some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out. Mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it all at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at /Global Sim Racing Channel. And while you're here, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe by simply hitting the button on this YouTube channel.
Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Richie Hearn, our director, Amjad Yaman, and our camera's artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.